Hi everyone, this is your intro video to how to use Slack. If you didn't receive an email inviting you, just let myself, Katarina, know. So once you log in, you will see a screen that looks similar to this, perhaps more populated. And Slack is a channel-based discussion platform. And channels, once you log in, are found here along the left-hand side. There aren't that many channels in this particular workspace just yet. Think of channels as just ways to organize different discussions. So you can have this one workspace and have multiple themes just organized by channels. You can include everyone in your workspace per channel, and actually that's our recommendation, just because we want all of your colleagues and us, your instructors, to be able to see the discussion. That being said, maybe you might like Slack and you might want to use it as a way to have discussions with your groups when working on your group projects. So in that case, you wouldn't want to invite everyone and just have sort of a more private channel amongst 3 or 4 of you. You can also direct message anyone in this workspace, so these are obviously private. So I will tell you how to add channels in a bit. One of the features that I guess I never really cared too much about, but now that we are fully online, I think it might be appropriate. You can edit your settings and add a profile picture. Again, particularly because we won't be face to face, it might be kind of nice to just have your profile beside your name in our discussion posts. So I want to show you a previous year's workspace, just to outline some of the, I guess, interesting features or things you might want to think about when you are using Slack. So you'll see along the left-hand side there are many more channels than we have in our workspace. So we are doing things differently this year in that previous years we had more readings, and before our term started, we actually already labeled 4 of the channels according to the 4 themes that our readings were on. You'll see a number of other channels here, and these sort of came about organically, and it ended up being a bit of a housekeeping space. I believe this year we're trying to move away from having housekeeping discussions in Slack. We're going to try to keep to that in Quarkus. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So really, we could have used Quarkus even as our discussion board, but we want to expose you to more educational technologies, given that this is an EdTech course. And we chose Slack in particular because it's very popular, it's free, and it's very robust. So as a group, you will be both facilitating a discussion on the readings as well as participating, just depending what group or week you're in. So as facilitators, you will want to set the ground rules and expectations for how the rest of your colleagues are going to participate in these discussions. So that means 2 things. You decide how you want to organize the categories or the channels. So, for example, you might want to decide that your channel is going to focus on one article specifically. You might even want to decide that you're going to focus one question per article for each channel. It's completely up to your group and your facilitation style. But also be sure to be explicit on how users are going to respond. There are 2 places you can post. So within this channel, you can post a message to this main thread, I suppose, and you can find that along the bottom. So your message will appear after the last person. So this is, I guess, reverse chronological. This would have been the first post, and then as you scroll down, they become more recent. Or another way to reply is you can reply to a specific posting. So here you can see that there are 8 replies specific to this post, and you won't really know to look there unless you're told to do so. So Slack uses the terminology thread when you are replying to a specific post, and when you click that, you'll then see the discussion relating to that specific post along the right-hand side. So neither is better than the other. Just be explicit as to where you expect your colleagues to reply. This is a lesson learned from last year in that we weren't explicit, and it was a bit difficult to find everyone's responses. So going back to our Slack workspace, because we will not be naming the channels for you, you will decide how you want to facilitate and name the channels. You will then be adding channels. So to do that, just go to Add Channels, create new, give it a descriptive name, just so people know what to expect or what they're looking for when they visit the channel. And leave all the defaults here. This is because we want everyone in the workspace to automatically be added to these channels. If you don't do that, the channel's still open, so users can add themselves, but they won't necessarily know that they have to add themselves, and they can miss parts of the discussion, and hence part of their mark can be affected. So you can just start typing. And like with any social media app, if you want to flag a specific person in this workspace, just put the @ symbol before someone's name. And you can see it sort of turns this hyperlink blue. So when I press enter, Heather McNeil will then be flagged. When she next logs into Slack, she'll see something similar to this notification, this sort of red notification letting her know she has been specifically targeted to respond to a message. So I did mention that Slack is really robust, so I'm just going to show you the backend admin side of what Slack looks like. So there are a number of widgets or apps that integrate with Slack. And yeah, I'm just scrolling through them. So these are just the categories, not the apps themselves, but you can see that it integrates with Office 365, with Google Suite. Let's see, with Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Calendar. Just to give you an example, one of the widgets or apps that I do tend to use is Polls. So you can see the search results for polls. There's, I don't know how many, over a dozen apps just for polling that integrate with Slack. So hopefully you'll find this particular technology useful. And again, if you're no longer with the university or an institution that has a platform that you can use as a discussion space, hopefully you'll consider Slack. That is if you like it. We hope you do. And if you have any questions, just email any of us, and that's it. Enjoy.